A very warm and hearty good day to all of you. My name is Ramanpreet Kaur Bhatia. I'm a chartered accountant from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, a certified practicing accountant from CPA Australia, and a distinguished Toastmaster from Toastmasters International. In this video, I'll be talking about market segments, strategies, competition, basis of competition, industry success factors, competitor analysis, and strategic growth. I hope you all will find some value in this video. So let's start. The first topic that we are going to do in this video is market segmentation. What is market? Market includes both the organization in the industry as well as the buyers of the products and the services that these organizations offer. So it's a combination of the organization plus the buyers of the products. Essentially, what does it mean? It means a combination of seller and buyer. This is what a market is. Now, what is market segmentation? Market segmentation means the market is divided into groups. Which groups? Those who share similar characteristics, similar needs and behaviors. Segments should satisfy the criteria such as it should be homogeneous in terms of members. That means members of a particular segment must be similar in their attitudes, behavior, and financial status so that they behave in a similar manner. The second one is the market should be heterogeneous. Heterogeneous in terms of other segments. What does that mean? That means each segment should be different from one another. If we say women's segment, it is different from men's segment. The size of the market should be substantial. It should be of a sufficient size. And this size is very subjective. It depends on our estimation. So that a special marketing effort is warranted, that we can justify why we have classified this in a separate marketing segment. So if we are making this much of market effort, the group size has to be sufficient in order for us to earn profit. It must be identifiable. It must be responsive, that means. We should be able to identify and make a clear distinction between group members and non-group members. And responsive means that segment members react in a similar manner. More or less, the reaction is same. Now, if we say that market is limited only to a particular region, no, because of globalization, the national boundaries these days are blurred. So if I'm talking about this segment of women, maybe women in Australia, maybe women in New Zealand, maybe women in India, or maybe women in the European environment. So the woman in general is the market segment that I am targeting. So this is what we mean by market segmentation, where we are grouping the customers who act in a similar manner, who give the similar kind of response. So that is basically the division of market. The next, we are going to discuss some of these markets. We have created the markets and now we'll analyze these segments, and analysis of segments should include the different segments, which could be demographic, which could be geographic, which could be physiographic, which could be technographic, which could be behavioral, which could be need based, right? Which could be value based. Demographic, we are talking about the segment where the people are classified as per the age or as per the gender. Geographic, where we have divided the markets in, this is Australian market, this is Indian market, this is Chinese market, this is Singaporean market. We have segmented the market on the basis of physiographic. What is my personality? right? I belong to a very fashionable segment, so that is my market classification. Or I have this attitude that things need to be recycled. In this particular market segment, I will be using only the recycled products, right? Technographic, mobile use in a particular segment of market, people only use mobiles. They are not, they do not use much of the monitors or desktop. They do not sit at one place, and they are working continuously when they are mobile. Behavioral frequency, the frequent actions, tendencies, features of products use, habits, brand. The habits of particular segment of people makes it a particular market segment. Need based, product or service must have the needs, they must satisfy the needs of that specific group, consumer group. And value based, the economic value of the specific consumer group or business. So this is the just a classification, just this is an inclusive list, I can say, right? Because it includes these kind of market segmentation, but it does not include all kind of market segments. So this is just an example how you can make the market segmentation. Now, the next is strategic competition. When we analyze on our analysis of growth and long-term profitability, when that is being undertaken, we have to analyze the competition within the industry, our position within the industry. If you remember from last video, we studied about the Porter's 5 force analysis, and saw and we learned that this analysis gives insight to the level of competitive rivalry in the industry. Now here, as next step, we have to consider the nature of this tributary and the basis of competition. So first thing that we are going to talk about is strategic competition. What is strategic competition? Strategic competition is nothing but the competition based on strategy. Strategic competition is the studied, you have to emphasize on this word, studied deployment of resources. So strategic competition is, I'll tell you next why this is called studied deployment of resources based on high degree of insight of a business system. It leaves nothing to chance. Everything is calculated. Everything is well documented. In this kind of competition, we make decisions regarding the actions, resources, and capabilities within the organization. How? By understanding our competitors, by understanding our customers, by understanding and using our ability to predict the consequence of any given action, by checking the availability of committed and uncommitted resources, by working all these to predict the risk and return with sufficient accuracy and confidence, right? So that is strategic competition for us. We do strategic competition when we know everything about the market. We are not taking chances. We are making future predictions, but those future predictions are based on some evidence, some document, some experience, some past trend. It's not just vague. It's not just in the air, right? So we have to understand the basis and reasons of competition. Everybody who is involved in the competition, after studying the above, understand the result of any invention in the present system. We know all this, we know everything about the competition around us, then we will analyze our resources, then we will analyze what are the risks, the current risk and the potential risk, and then we will make a decision. Nothing is left for chance, right? So this is strategic competition. Overall, in nutshell, strategic competition is when we have studied the market and based on that we have entered the competitive scenario. That is strategic competition. Now, how will you do strategic competition? you will do strategic competition only when you know about your competitors. So, or what is the basis of competition? So here we are going to study the basis of competition. Now, what are these bases? We talked about strategic competition. What is the basis of that competition? We have to do a competitor analysis. Based on what basis will we do this analysis? We will do this analysis by identifying the basis of competition within the industry. And this is the combination of your knowledge, of your experience from that remote and industry operational environment analysis, which we did earlier. We will apply that analysis in the present customer and market knowledge. And we will identify what drives demand, choice, price, and cost. We will assess the current and potential risk that may affect future developments in the country, in the industry, and discovers what underpins sustainable competitive advantage. There is a table given in the presentation about demand, choice, price, cost, and current and potential risk, which we will just study. So these are basically the 5 bases of competition: demand, choice, price, cost, and current and potential risk. And these 5 bases underpins sustainable competitive advantage. Right? Now, in this part of the presentation, we will summarize the example which is given in the module, which is example 2.11, the basis of competition in the chocolate manufacturing industry. Now, we have just studied that there are basically 5 bases of competition. The first one is basis of demand, right? More or less, the basis of competition under each factor is common for all industries. For example, if we talk about demand, demand is based on the income of the buyer, the frequency of shopping, if it is an impulsive shopping or a calculated purchase, availability of the product, advertising value for money events. If it's a Mother Day or Valentine's Day or Easter or Christmas, based on that, the demand will change. So what drives the demand for the product or services? It will be income, need, frequency of shopping, availability of product, value for money. The second factor is choice. What drives the price, product performance, and supplier availability? It again depends on the events, the advertising, and the priority. The third one is price. How is price determined? How do you price your products in an industry? Pricing in an industry is determined by the quality that is available. The manufacturers who are competing on the basis of quality, they are often able to charge a higher amount. They're able to charge a premium. So that's why we see that when our product is differentiated, when our product is quality product, when our product is different from the competitors, we can always price it high. And also remember, product may not be of the same quality as higher brands, but even if it is closer, then it could be acceptable by the consumers at lower prices also. So this is the variation, and we have to understand this variation. An example of this is maybe the Amazon products. All of us are buying online these days. All of us might be using the Amazon platform. So for many products, Amazon has its own in-house brand. Usually the prices of those products are less as compared to other brands. So sometimes the consumers, although the quality is not that much, but even if it is closer and the product is cheaper, they can still go for those products. An example for that is Amazon products. Now, what are the main drivers of cost in the industry? All cost drivers. It could be the cost of inputs, labor cost, packaging cost, advertising cost, and also the volume of production. For producing in large volumes, If I'm doing that, then I can sustain lower average selling price also because of the mass market nature of the product. So if I am a small manufacturer and I'm producing a higher quality product, but in lower volumes, my production cost will be higher and so will be the costing. So it is one of the factor which is dependent on lots of factors. Then the last factor is the current and potential risk. We have to analyze all kinds of risks when we are in the competition. Why? Not only the, and here I'm not talking only about the current risk, I'm talking all about the potential risk also. For example, in this chocolate manufacturing industry, there could be a health concern, the concern for obesity, concern for dental hygiene, right? There could be an in-house production, and if there is growth in that market, then it will increase the competition and my margins will be eroded. It could be that the future government regulations might change. They might ban my product or they might promote my product. Then it also depends on population. For example, in aging population, they might not like my product as compared to the teenage population, maybe vice versa. So we have to understand and we have to take into consideration the basis of a competition in an industry before making any strategic decision. So these are 5 bases of competition which we need to keep in mind. The next one we are talking about is the industry success factors. There are 3 factors on which the success of an industry depends, and that is branding, good selling and market distribution network, brand plus marketing plus merchandising. In all industries, there are few factors that are critical for an organization to compete successfully. We just tried to understand the basis of competition, and those bases of competition make it possible to summarize this factor, which are also or maybe common to the industry success factors. So what would provide a sustainable competitive advantage? Industry key success factors. The first one is, of course, the strong brand name, and branding is a technological expertise. Why? High profile brands with strong consumer loyalty are important. They are fundamental. They will be cashed as high sales and prolong product life cycle. For example, Nestle and Cadbury, they are strong brand names. These brand names have been established for decades. There is constant promotion, there is constant introduction of new products and promotion of those new products. So branding, of course, is very important to be successful in an industry. The next one is efficient selling and distribution network. Right? When we studied about the power of buyers and power of sellers, those manufacturers who have a widely and efficiently good distribution network, they are successful. Why? Because as lower prices are important to ensure competitiveness, cost effective distribution and logistics is also critical. For example, Cadbury sells its products globally, manufacturing them and manufactures them locally, right, in order to reduce the distribution cost. So Cadbury has established the manufacturing units within different countries so that the distribution cost is lessened. Why? Because I'm producing here, I'm manufacturing here, and I'm distributing within my own country, but under the brand name of Cadbury. My distribution cost, my selling cost gets lowered. The next one is again effective brand support, marketing, and strong merchandising. This factor is somehow overlapping. Why? Because the selling and distribution networks, manufacturers must ensure that their products have strong marketing support, which includes what? Prominent displays, good product placements, near retailer checkouts, advertising, promotional campaigns, And usually with this, they build promotions, they build sponsorships, they give quantity purchase discounts. Usually we have seen that, near the checkout counters, they place the small kids material, for example, the chocolates, small pencils, or Kinder Joys, and all these kind of products. Why they are placed near the checkout counters? So that when you have already made your essential purchase and when you are paying for your purchases, those products which are lying just near the checkout counter, they catch attention of the kids. Kids start crying for them, and you give them and you buy those products for them. So that is all the placement, right? That is the marketing, that is the marketing technique. So these are the three industry success factors. Now there is a challenge in defining the key success factors, which is there might be disruptions in the industry and it may change the relevance of that product. For example, Nokia phone sets. Now when Nokia was introduced, they were classified as the sturdy, the strong handsets. They were strong. But when iPhones came into being, apps became more important. Features became more important. To the entire basis of competition changed. The entire key success factor for the industry changed because this was a disruption. So we also need to keep that in mind while making the strategic decisions, that what will be the current and future risk, there might be disruptions in the industry, we have to be prepared for that. So these are industry success factors. Next we are going to study about the competitive position or the competitor analysis. Now, what is a competitor analysis, or what is the competitive position? What is my position when I am entering into a competition arena with my competitors? I have to understand, before understanding my competitors, I have to understand my organization, which I did when I'm doing the when I'm doing the external analysis. What is my position among my competitors in present and in future also? Does my organization enjoy a good customer base? Does my organization enjoy a good market share? Do the customers come to me to buy from me? Or do I have the capabilities to produce exactly that kind of product which my customers might not be having? Right? So those are capabilities. So this is about the competitive position, competitor analysis. Right? What is the use of that competitor analysis? To confirm and communicate your organization's benefit and value proposition to my consumers. I know this is what I can produce. I know this is what my competitor can produce. Right? So I have to place my product uniquely in front of the customers. So I have to tell customer that this is the unique point in my product. So you come and you buy from me. Don't go to my competitor. This communication is important. That is, and when will it happen? It will happen only when you know your competitor, and you will know your competitor only through competitor analysis, right? So confirm and communicate your organization's benefits and value proposition to customers. Identify the industry insights that my organization might have missed, and make strategic decisions by using this information so that I have a unique position in the industry, right? So that's why it is important. So that the major point is I should be able to communicate my benefits to my consumer. Now we will do the competitive analysis. We understand the level of competitive rivalry, basis of competition in the industry, in the critical success factors. Now, the next step for us is to determine an organization's competitive position. What exactly it is? It is how me as an organization differentiate itself from competitors in its market? How will you do that? For that, you need to understand your competitors. So we have to answer few questions. Who is the competition, present and future? What are their strategies? What are their objectives? What are their goals? How important is a specific market to each competitor, and what is the level of its commitment? We have to understand, we have to make an effort to understand the relative strengths and limitations of each competitor. What are the weaknesses of my competitors which will make them vulnerable? And what changes are the competitors likely to make in their future strategies? Right? We have to have a very thorough information about our competitor. An organization should be able to identify who are stronger and bigger competitors at the same time. It is important for me to know my competitors. At the same time, I should be able to assess who is a strong and bigger competitor, and who is the one whom I can just bypass easily. Then we have to rank those competitors. We have to rank our business against them based on our capabilities and resources. We need to be positioned so that our capabilities provide the best kind of defense against competitive forces. Right? So it is very important to identify and assess our competitors. So that point I'm stressing again and again. We have to understand, we have to know each and everything, their points of study, goals and strategy, their capabilities, their competitive strength, the value proposition that they are offering, their future planning, their weaknesses, the uniqueness of of their product, their market share, their needs. I need to know all this, right? Now, how will you identify and assess your competitors? We said that it is important for us. How? Right. So when you consider your organization's current competitors, you need to consider not only those that provide the same product or service, but those also who can offer substitutes, because that may satisfy maybe the same need, or even they can altogether change the consumer's expectations about the need. So, what do you need to ask? Value proposition. Which organization provides exactly the same product? Which organization provides an improved product? Which organization provides a breakthrough product that has, or maybe in future, it can have the potential to change consumers' behavior? How to position your organization in a unique way? What features the competitor has which is so unique, and why the buyer should leave me in the present and go to that competitor? I have to understand that. I have to understand that value proposition, the positioning of each competitor, so that I can make my own place in the industry. In simple terms, why a consumer should buy a product or use a service from me and not from my competitors. And communicating this to my consumers will add more value, right? So that's the basic point. And how will what are the sources? Public reports, competitors advertisements and public documents, review of customers, and by talking to that competitor, that organization, or to its employees, right? So that's how we will do a competitor analysis. Now, just to summarize, why? To understand the value proposition that they are offering, to understand their strengths, to understand their weaknesses. Then I will position myself, then I will improve myself, then I will make planning for my future, and I will position myself in the industry. Developing a standard approach is useful because it enables a more direct comparison between companies or competitors. Right? What are other benefits of keeping all the documents? It is extremely useful exercise to keep it up to date, because it helps us in discovering and agreement upon important assumptions, informations, and facts. If documentation is kept in a good and proper manner and systematic manner, over a period of time, it is possible for us to start even predicting the competitors' behavior. So that's why we should keep a proper documentation of this competitor analysis. What is the use of this competitor analysis? I'm just repeating this point again and again to know what is it that competitors have and what will they have in future to attract my customers. And if I know about their strengths and weaknesses, I can communicate to my customers what are the advantages that my product offers. So here in this slide, I have just given the points which you need to fill in your competitor analysis document. This is just a sample of it. Right. So this is competitor analysis for us. Now we come to strategic groups. What are strategic groups? They are usually different groups of competitors, and each group consists of competitors following a similar strategy. Each group consists of competitors following a similar strategy in a similar product market classification. What is the distinction? A strategic group and the other group, the distinction is that it may be in other organization in the industry, they might have other groups, they might have different strategy or a different target product market. But those specific competitors who follow the same strategy as me, who are dealing in the same market as me, who are targeting the same customers like me, or who are involved in a similar product market classification as me, they are strategic groups for me. I'll explain this with a simple example of aviation industry or the airlines of luxury class, business class, economy class. So all those industries or all those organizations which provide the luxury class make one strategic group. Why? Because they are in competition with each other. All those organizations which provide all those the activities or all those activities which provide the economy class, they are in, that's a different strategic group. Right. Another example could be the food industry. There are fine dining restaurants. They form a different strategy groups. But if it is a fast food chain, then that's a different strategy group. The fast food chains are different from fine dining restaurants. Why? They offer fast services. They offer fast food services. Whereas in fine dining, generally, it's for family atmosphere kind of thing. And why do we need to identify the strategic groups? Because we want to identify our main competitors. So it is important for us to understand the, uh, the strategic characteristics of our competitors. Because if we know our strategy group competitors, we can identify the strategy directions of those competitors, those rivals in the industry, and accordingly, I will make my own strategy. At the same time, I can also discover those untapped or untouched opportunities in the industry by revealing the gaps. Right? So this is a classification. This is an example of strategic groups. So now if you'll see in this video, we studied about the competition, basis of competition, industry success factors, competitor analysis, and strategic groups. So once we know all this, our external analysis is almost complete. We know each and everything about the external environment. We know each and everything about our remote environment. We know each and everything about industry's operational environment. We know each and everything about competition. We know each and everything about strategic groups. Now, external analysis is covered. Now, in the next module, we will be studying about the internal analysis. Right? I hope all these things are clear to you. All these concepts that we have done today are clear to you. That's all for this video. In our next video, we'll be talking about The internal analysis, we'll be touching the important topics given in module 3, and we'll be talking more about the internal analysis. If you have any comments or and any suggestions for the present video, do write to me and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you so much.